We're talking about brand new music from Maddie and Tae, plus an update on baby Layton coming up. This episode of Connected with Kelly is sponsored by Pickers Vodka, proudly made in Nashville, Tennessee. So Pickers is a tribute to the musicians whose sounds fill the air in Music City. Pickers Vodka is distilled 11 times from non-GMO corn, and it's gluten-free. My new favorite is the Pickers Unplugged Vodka Soda. They're in cans. They are only 96 calories, 0 carbs, great flavors. You need to give them a try. Visit pickersvodka.com to find out more or to order online. Hey guys, welcome to this episode of Connected with Kelly. I just sat down with Maddie from Maddie and Tae. Brand new album is out. It's Through the Madness Volume 1. But of course, the focus has been on Tae, who just had her baby girl. She delivered early, and baby girl Layton has been in the NICU for a while. But we get a great update from Aunt Maddie, and we talk all about the new music. Let's get connected with Maddie and Tae. All right, let's talk a little bit about all the things that are happening in 2022. First of all, like you guys had this amazing year planned.
Yes.
Of course, what is the saying? If you want to hear God laugh, tell him your plans.
Yes, 100%.
Truly, you were headed out on CMT's Next Women of Country. This was going to be the headlining, all the good things. And then we had a little sidestep because sweet Tae with her baby girl needed to go into the hospital for a while. Baby girl's here. Can you give us an update? How's the fam? How's everybody?
Everyone is great. It was a really rough month. I'm not going to lie. Like, it was really hard, mainly for Tae and Josh, but it was just hard for me. I felt so helpless. Like, when someone you love is going through something like that, and, it was rough. We definitely had our meltdowns. I called Tae crying on FaceTime a couple of times, which I know doesn't help, but I just miss her. And I just, even doing all of this today, like, I just get choked up because I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't, that's my like right arm. It's like literally me losing a limb. Like, it's, and not losing, it's literally a temporary little thing, but yeah, it was not easy. And I'm just so proud of T. She handles like the hardest things in life with such grace. I don't think I could have handled it that way. But just, literally loving her through the madness. I mean, I jinxed us with this album title. I'm like, damn it, I should not have named it Through the Madness, because now I just created more madness.
I mean, I was going to bring that up. It is really, like you said, Through the Madness. And then it was like, oh, you want some chaos? Boom, let's throw it your way.
I was literally just trying to name the art, not trying to attract more madness. But you know what? I do think, I do feel, I mean, getting to see all of that happen for them, like, you see God working like firsthand, like you see it with your eyes. And that was one of the most special things about the whole experience. But Tae's doing great. Josh is doing great. Baby Layton is growing and just such a little rock star. And I just can't wait to hold her in a couple months.
I was going to say, have you had a chance to hold her? I know your affinity for being around the littles. I know that you love being around kids. So, I mean, Aunt Maddie hasn't had a chance to snuggle yet.
Not yet, but it's like anytime I get a picture of her, and Tae will send me a picture of her like almost every day when she goes into the NICU, and my heart just explodes and I just like cry like a baby. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be like a train wreck of a mom if I get that emotional about like my little niece. It's crazy.
Well, we are so happy that everybody is doing well. Everybody is sending so much love and prayers their way. You know that, but
yes. And T feels that too. I think she was just, she was nervous to share what was happening. Cause I mean, like, that's just personal, but your life is kind of public. And, but she just felt like this overwhelming amount of peace and love. And just knowing that so many people were praying over them just was the best gift.
I do want to talk to you about something that I didn't really think about until this morning. And I was thinking about, oh my gosh, they had so many things that were planned and then all of that had to be put on hold. And I remember a time, especially in this industry, And I've talked to several females who are country stars and were terrified to tell their managers they were pregnant. Sarah Evans, I had this conversation with Sarah Evans. She said, people were terrified for you to have a child because boom, that's the end of your career. And
Oh my gosh.
it's
Yes.
so crazy to, now we're full circle and it's like, no, this is part of our life. This is part of what we are as a duo. You guys are embracing and loving all of it. But was there that trepidation, do you feel? I mean, obviously things have to change. I just wonder, did you still feel a little bit of that pressure as a duo to be like, oh my gosh, okay, this is going to be different now?
I know Tay definitely was worried. Tay was worried that people are going to think, oh, she's having a baby and oh, their career is over. And I just think that's so, um, I think it's really shallow to think of women as that one dimensional. I mean, we have been working and raising children, not me yet, but women have been doing that forever. And I don't know why we act like just because your job is what it is that you can't have children. I think it's like you should be able to have it all. You should be able to work your butt off and chase your dream and have a family and have a marriage. Like we can do all of the things. That's women. That's why women run the world. Sorry, but we do. Like that's literally we do all of the things. We work. We, take care of ourselves and our husbands because sometimes they are helpless, except for Paul. But I'm just kidding. But yeah, I hate that society like puts that on us. I think it's stupid and I want to change that conversation. Like that's something Tay and I are really passionate about talking about is just like why do we think women can't do it all? We've been doing it all. Like why all of a sudden it's like oh, you can't, no, you can't get pregnant. You can't do this. It's like, okay, well, yeah, there's going to be some off time, but I mean, it's ridiculous that people think we can't do it all because we can't.
That's exactly right. And I am so happy to hear that because I truly feel like, in a weird way, this is going to be one of those cornerstones that you guys are carrying the flag. You're carrying the banner. I mean, we've watched Carrie Underwood do it too. Carrie has the boys out on tour when you guys did the tour together, just you saw how that worked and you had, somebody that was blazing that path. And I think you guys are picking up that banner and running with it. So more power to you. Yes.
I mean, I think that my thing is in life, everything is hard. Like this idea that life is supposed to just be fun and easy is just totally false. Like life is hard and you pick your hard. So like you pick what is hard. Like touring is hard. Having a baby while touring is hard. Like all of it's freaking hard. You just pick your hard, basically.
Oh, I like that.
Got it from Glennon Doyle. It's not my own.
She's amazing. I love following her on Instagram. I want to talk about this album and some of the songs on it because I was diving into it last night, listening to it. Reese comes downstairs and she goes, "Who's this?" And I'm like, "It's Maddie and Tae." And she goes,
I want to know what Reese's favorites are because I know she is a musical, like just music junkie. And so I want to know. Once she digs in, let me know. Text me and tell me.
Wish you were the best, or
yes!
Wish you the best.
Oh my gosh, I love that she loves that one.
Wish you the best because it's the twist on it. When you hear it, it's like, wish you the best. You already had it. So sorry.
I wish I had that song when I was younger because I think like when you get out of a relationship, you're just in such a like, is it my fault? What did I do? Especially women, we do that to ourselves. And then it's like this song, it's like, I call it my sparkly middle finger of the album. It's like a really sweet way to flick your ex off. You know what I mean? Like, it's like really sweet and pretty, but it's still like that undertone of like, yeah, goodbye. I'm the best.
A sparkly middle finger is the best thing that I've heard all day.
It is. It's like, it's beautiful, but there's still an undertone.
It's a great undertone. It's the best undertone. In putting this together, obviously it's Through the Madness Volume 1. So I'm hoping there's Volume 2, right?
There is because, and our team was a little reluctant, but our team also let us cut a ton of music. So I was like, guys, this should be a learning lesson. Don't let us go cut 20 songs because we'll put all of them out. And I will weasel my way into figuring out how we put all the music out. And I did. And they weren't like super fond of the Volume 1, Volume 2 thing. So they might not let us cut as much music next go round, but
no.
hey, it all
Listen.
worked out perfect.
No. Listen. You guys are right on trend because Jason Aldean has Macon and Georgia. Thomas Rhett has done his, he had a side A and then side B is coming out later. He put another one in the middle. You are right on trend. You are right on trend with volume 1 and volume 2.
Well, and I mean, with the way it feels, it was broken into 3 parts, and then everyone kind of started doing the 3-part thing. And so we were like, we don't want to do that again because we already did it. But basically, we had to figure out how can we release the most music, in the most conducive way, I guess is the right word.
I like that. I agree with that. We want more music. We've been waiting for it. So yes, please give it all to us. Just inundate us. We want all the things. Okay, so this is my prediction. I'm just going to put this into the universe. Strangers will be the wedding song of 2022.
Please, God, I pray that it is. That song, oh my gosh. And then Tae posted that, I will literally get choked up, but like Tae posted that video with Leighton with Strangers. And I was like, don't do that to me, because I came up with that song title because Jonah and I, we were like laying in bed one night in quarantine at his parents' house. And we were just talking because him and I, we've been together for 12 years. Yeah. And grew up in the same hometown, lived really close to each other, but we never crossed paths until high school. And so, we were just talking about like, how were we ever strangers? What was our life without each other? Like, what were those, like, tell me about that part of your life where I wasn't there to experience it. And Jonah was just like, I just can't believe we were strangers. It just feels like you've been here this whole time. And I had my phone just like, just writing every single thing that he was saying down. And I wrote with our co-writers and with Tae. I wrote that song in my in-laws' guest room during quarantine. And Jonah was like, how in the world do you take what I say and turn it into this? Like, how does that even happen? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm just that good.
Listen, wait. Okay, so I just went to look at the liner notes. Let's see here. It's Adam Hambrick and Jimmy Robbins, and then you and Tae. But I don't see Jonah's name listed on here as the writers.
I know. Yeah. And he's like, you know what, honey? Just like, the money that he would make as a 5th writer, I'll just treat him to some, new golf clubs, maybe a vacay, something like that.
And when I would listen to this album, there's so much growth in this album. There's so much growth in your voices. There's so much growth in the lyrics, in what you're saying, in your message. And when I listen to that and I think, oh my goodness, yeah, you guys have lived a lot of life already. How do you feel when you listen to this album? Because it has to be an evolution for you as well.
Thank you for saying that, by the way. My goal every time I put out an album is for people to hear the growth. I think if you're not growing, it's you just get stagnant and complacent. We never want to get that way. But when I feel hopeful when I hear this project, and that was kind of my goal. Like, I want this to be an album that, like, when people are in really hard seasons of life, which Tae and I have just gotten out of a really hard season. Like, I want people to be like, oh, through the madness, boom, I'm going to put that on for a good musical hug, just to know that I'll get through. And even songs like The Other Side, I can't listen to right now because I'm still in it. And so is T, but I feel hopeful, and there's like this really nice confidence that is threaded through, because this is our 3rd time around. Like, it's not the 2nd album where you're like, oh God, are people gonna like it as much as the 1st? And it's not the 1st, which is absolutely terrifying. It's our 3rd project. And so there's like a confidence. I'm like, okay, I've done this before. I know how this goes. I know how to promote this. I don't know everything, but I know enough to like feel confident going into it. And that is a really nice feeling. It's taken 12 years for us to feel this way.
But you know what? It's so beautiful to see. You can hear it. Like I said, you can totally hear it. You can see it. Since you brought up The Other Side, tell me about this. Lori McKenna is on this as well. And you also have a song that you worked on that Morgan Stapleton is a part of. And I look at this and I'm like, oh, this is a whole thing that's happening with these powerful, amazing voices that we don't always get to hear front and center on projects. And that made my heart really happy. So talk about, first of all, The Other Side with Lori McKenna.
Oh, I love that you say it. You're getting to hear two women that aren't always in the spotlight come into the spotlight with us. We're just all about that. I mean, that's our jam. But with Lori McKenna, we wrote The Other Side with her and Josh, Tae's husband. And we wrote that one during quarantine as well. And Josh actually got the title from our documentary Reframed on YouTube, ironically. He was watching, I think it was maybe like the third or fourth episode when we start talking about like just the season of depression that I had gone through with all the changes and just how everything kind of came crashing down. And Tay had said in the interview, like, I know that Maddie was having a hard time and just trying to like put on a brave face, but she said, I just knew I wasn't worried about her because she always makes it out on the other side. And just that sentence, Josh kind of elaborated on that. We were like, man, I really need to hear that. And during that whole time of writing it, my mother-in-law had gotten a really hard diagnosis that we had to walk through during 2020. And so personally, I pulled from that emotion and just like what I wanted to say to her to get her through this time. And so she also can't listen to The Other Side right now, or really ever. She's like, yeah, that one in Strangers, just I love it. No can do. It's, but yeah, it was a magical write. It took maybe like 40 minutes to write that song, which is very quick. Typically, it takes a couple hours to write a song. You know this because we've talked about it a billion times, but it was a really quick write. It just kind of fell out. It almost felt like out of body spiritual. And there's only a few songs that I've been a part of that have done that for me.
I love to hear that. That just gave me goosebumps because when I heard the song, you can feel the emotion in that for sure.
Yeah.
Don't Make Her Look Dumb with Morgan Stapleton. Tell me about your relationship with Morgan. Have you known her for a long time, or was it just one of those things where you said, I think that we need to have Morgan sing on this with us?
So it was very last minute and random, honestly. We've known the Stapletons for a couple years, but we haven't been like super close just because we haven't had a ton of time. But we did open for Chris a lot a couple years ago and really got to know Morgan's dad, Bop Bop, who is so precious and still texts us like all the time, like, hey, it's Bop Bop, hope you're well. Like, he's just so sweet. So with Morgan, Don't Make Her Look Dumb actually was written the same week that Die From a Broken Heart was written, way back in 20 whatever year that was, the year of heartbreak, as we call it. So we wrote that song and kind of forgot about it, and it kept coming back up in our song meetings with our head of A&R and our team, and everyone was like, we just really love this song. And Tay and I write a bajillion songs, so sometimes we kind of forget about one, and we did kind of forget about that song. And then our head of A&R, Stephanie, had the idea like, hey, I know y'all love Morgan's voice, like we just listened so hard to her harmonies and her blend. Like, that's something that I know Tay is obsessed with. I'm obsessed with her voice just by herself. And no offense to Chris, but like at his shows, I'm watching Morgan a lot of the times because I love what she brings to the sound. I think it's so important. And so I was so nervous to ask her if she wanted to be on the song, but when she heard it, she loved it. And I love that. And Don't Make Her Look Dumb, it's almost like Morgan is taking on another role, as like almost like another sister best friend role. Like, it's like another wise voice saying these things to like, kind of threatening the ex, like, hey, you know what? She poured her everything into this and you're just kind of being a jerk. Don't make her look dumb for loving you. Like, don't be more of a jerk than you already are,
When I heard her voice come in, I'm like, oh, it sounds so good. It's so perfect. It sounds so good. It's so perfect.
And I love that, like, on this volume 1, there's so many female voices. Like, I love just lifting up everyone. Like, I love collaboration in general. That's why I'm a songwriter. That's why I'm in a duo. Obviously, I am a teamwork gal. I love that. And it's just fun to I hope that our fans enjoy these two voices that you don't get to hear as much.
Listen, I just love this album. I'm so very happy for you. All the love to Tae and Baby Layton. We are thinking of all of you. It's going to be so great on the other side, right?
Yes, God, it is. I'm excited for that.
Through the Madness Volume 1, Maddie, we love you.
I love you, Kelly. Mwah.
Mwah. is something special. I love their voices together. And you get Morgan Stapleton and Lori McKenna on this album. Volume 2 is coming out later on. So, what's your favorite Maddie and Tae song? Put it below. Let's get the conversation going. Hit the bell and subscribe. Tell all your friends about it. That way you'll be notified when we have new episodes. That happens each and every week. Until next time, make sure you're staying connected with all the people and things you love the most. Bye.